The Lakota star knowledge concept of what is a soul. Your soul has two pieces. One is you, and the other one is not you. Its development is already complete. It's a guide. This is always attached to you until a certain point. Now, before it's going to be born into a physical body, it's in a certain star constellation. And the soul is just waiting for a child to be born. It doesn't matter what child it is. It doesn't pick, yeah? It doesn't say, oh, I'm going to wait till that queen conceives and I'm going to go in that one because I want to live a life of luxury. That's not what happens. It doesn't matter. All it needs is a physical body. All physical bodies are important. Just because somebody is in a poor family, that doesn't make them any less important than somebody who's in a rich family. The soul does not see material wealth because material wealth is not important when you're talking about spiritual matters. Also, the culture and skin color, those do not matter to the soul. The soul is not concerned about those things. So if a soul doesn't choose a physical body based on skin color or culture or things like that, that doesn't matter. It just needs a body to inhabit. So when that opportunity comes and it gets ready to leave that constellation, this part of the universe gives a soul piece to you. You're coming to the earth now. So now your soul has 3 pieces. Now, let's go back 9 months. When the mother of this child conceives, immediately the earth gives a soul piece to that unborn child. So that's a 4th piece. And that one comes from the earth. That allows that child to live on this planet. So, when this baby is developing in its mother's womb, it has a physical body, and from that physical body comes the personality, because of the brain, and emotions. And it has one soul piece from the earth. So it has the 4 parts of the self, basically. Body, mind, heart, and soul. Heart meaning emotions. And the soul piece is from the earth. So there is the 4 parts there. And in the Lakota ancestral world, when women started to realize they were pregnant, they started talking to their unborn children. Even if they're barely showing, they start talking to it, singing to it, because they're helping that unborn child to develop emotionally already. And then family members come and talk to it too, so that it's already becoming a part of a community even though it's not born yet. So that's in our ancestral world. Now, when the child is born, now you're coming with your 3 pieces, and as soon as that child takes its first breath, your soul and its 3 pieces joins this child, and it joins with that 4th soul piece from the earth. So now, these are energies. Remember, the personality is created by the brain. The personality doesn't have anything to do with the soul. For example, sometimes a person might get into some kind of accident in which he suffers severe head trauma and goes into a coma. When he comes to, his personality is totally different. His brain rewired itself and created a new personality. He doesn't really know his name or anything. He doesn't have any memories whatsoever concerning what happened before the accident. He doesn't recollect anything. So he's starting all new again. There's parts of his brain that still keep the way to talk what language to speak, and things like that. But as far as his identity is concerned, he has a new identity. Maybe before the guy was really no good. And then after this accident, he's suddenly totally the opposite person. He's just a giant, lovable teddy bear. That's the brain. That's not the soul. That is the brain. It rewired and created a different personality. That's why I say the personality belongs to the body, not the soul. The soul has no personality. This is Lakota Star knowledge. So, the person lives its life on the earth, and whatever happens, if this person is living a healthy life, then there's soul development. Your part of the soul. That part that is you, the individual part. Remember, there's 4 soul pieces. One is kind of a guide. Another piece is you. Remember, those 2 pieces are always together for most of the time. And the 3rd soul piece allows you to be in this part of the universe, and the 4th soul piece comes from the earth and allows you to be on this planet. So the part that's developing is you, your individual piece. So however you live your life, that's going to either develop your soul or not. And so either your soul does develop or it doesn't. And then so now let's say this person dies for whatever reason. Immediately the earth soul piece returns to the earth. And now as long as this soul is still on this planet, it still has the 3 pieces. Now when it's getting ready to go back to that star constellation that it came from, it travels up there with the 3 pieces. And once it's up there in this certain constellation, it goes into a passageway. And as soon as it does that, it drops off that universe piece, that 3rd piece. So just those 2 pieces are together. You and this measuring part. Remember, that measuring part is complete. It's already completely developed. This is serving a certain purpose. So you go through this passageway, and there is a location on the other side where a measurement is taken to see if your soul matches that completed piece. If it does, then those 2 pieces separate, and then it's another story after that. But I'm going to leave that out because we're not concerned about that right now, because we're all still here on the earth. So let's focus on this part. So since you're on the earth, that means your soul piece did not match that completed piece. That's why you're here, to try to complete it. So, okay, let's go back up to this place in the stars again. And this soul took its measurement and realized it's not completed yet. So that has to turn around, come back through that same passageway again, and it comes into that certain star constellation. And from that star constellation, it gets that 3rd piece again, that universe piece that allows it to be in this part of the universe. Then it's waiting for the next baby to be born. And it all starts again. It goes over and over and over until the development is complete. So it doesn't matter when the soul is done with a lifetime on the earth. That's it. That experience is done. That earth experience is done now. So whatever happened during that time on the earth, it's over. What I'm talking about is when somebody dies, all the experiences that happened during that person's lifetime, they have no more effect concerning the next lifetime. Because this lifetime is over for that person. This human experience for that lifetime is over. The memories are not important. What's important is that development. That's why the most important thing is how you live your life. Because that's what's going to decide if your soul develops or not. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what language you speak. Those things are not important. What's important is how you live your life. And this is coming from your sacred center. As long as you communicate from your sacred center, you don't see yourself as a Lakota or a Japanese. You see yourself as a human. You see yourself as a grandchild of Grandmother Earth. And so when you communicate to others, you see others that way too. They may not be the same as you. Other people might be communicating from their skin colors, but you just say, okay, that's their choice, but that's not how I am. I am communicating as a human. So when you see like that, when you see yourself as a human, your soul is developing very rapidly. But as soon as you start saying, yeah, I'm proud to be Lakota, and you go overboard on that thought, your soul does not develop because you're not communicating from your sacred center. So the bottom line is this. If you communicate from your sacred center, your soul develops. If you communicate from your skin color, your soul does not develop. This is all coming from Lakota Star knowledge. Really ancient information. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what language you speak. What matters is how you live your life. If you communicate from your sacred center, you're living a healthy life and your soul develops. When you die, that's it for this life. All the experiences that happened during this lifetime, they're not important anymore. They've served their purpose. So you don't carry that to the next life. That stays with the body. That's not important. But that information from this life is in the soul development. So it's not important whatever you were in the previous lifetime, the one before you were here. So you're here right now, you're listening to this. The lifetime before is not important anymore. That's served its purpose. And you don't need information from there anymore because it's already showing in your soul development, so you don't need anything from that. Try to think of it like this. When you're growing, your physical body, you start out as a baby and then you become an adult. So your body changes through that time period. You get taller, maybe wider too. Maybe really wider. But you're changing. But you don't need to crawl around anymore because you can walk, you can run. You don't need to be crawling like a baby because your body's capable of standing up and walking. So why would you want to go back and crawl around again like a baby? Let's say you're walking to work and you say, oh, shit, I don't feel like walking, I'm going to crawl. So you get down on all fours and you start crawling to work. You see what I mean? That crawling, you don't need to do that anymore because it's not necessary. I mean, you can if you want to. I guess there's no law against it, but it looks pretty silly. And the bottom line is, you don't need that anymore. It served its purpose. That time since you could get up and get on all fours and crawl, from that time until you could stand up and take a few steps. You don't need to go back to that time anymore. That time period has served its purpose. That's like a past life. You don't need anything from there anymore. It's not important. What I'm saying is anything from a past life is not important for this life. Because it's done. The past life is done. It's not needed anymore. The soul developed from that experience. It went to a certain level. And that's it. It doesn't need anything from that past life. Because that past life is complete. You don't need to crawl again because that part served its purpose in your life. You don't need that. It's not important. What's important is right now. Because the way you think right now decides your future. And so to influence the future in a very healthy way, you should be at peace with your past. So you have no emotional baggage to deal with. You can look at your past, even the difficult times, and feel no emotion because you're at peace with it. That's where you need to be. And then as you become that, you see that the most important moment is the present moment. Which means the most important lifetime is the one you're living right now. The past lives, they're done. That's not important anymore. They've served their purpose. This is Lakota star knowledge. And the soul does not see skin color. The earth does not see skin color. The earth doesn't care what color skin you have. The earth doesn't even care if you're a man or a woman. What the earth is concerned about is how do you live your life? How do you communicate? How do you receive communication? How do you learn from your difficulties? How do you enjoy your blessings? Are you at peace with your past? Do you visualize a healthy future? And everybody has this gift. That means no skin color is more important than any other. We're all important. The fact that we have a earth piece inside of us, a soul earth piece, and a soul universe piece, this makes us sacred. So your lifetime right now is the most important lifetime. Right now, the present life is the most important. And then when you come back in the next one, that one will be, because that will be the present moment. But right now, this is the present moment. And the present moment is the most important moment, which means this life is the most important one. So since the soul doesn't give a shit about skin color, it just comes when there's an opportunity to come into the earth for a human experience. So now, can you understand when somebody says, oh, I just love the Indian people and I just have this huge Indian interest, particularly the Lakota people. And one time I had this dream and I was doing this some kind of dance and there was 2 feathers on my forehead. And then when I woke up, suddenly I felt that my name is 2 feathers and that I am a Lakota from a past life. This is ridiculous. That does not hold water. That argument is weak. It's very weak. This is an obsession. And how you think, how you communicate, is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And remember what I said, the soul doesn't give a shit what color your skin is or what language you speak. That's not the main concern. The main concern is how do you live your life. That is the most important thing. If the earth were to favor Indian people over all other people on this planet, Indian people wouldn't even be able to move. Because the love of the earth is gravity. And you know that gravity has the same effect on all humans. That means the earth loves everybody, regardless of your skin color, because she doesn't give a shit what color your skin is. What she wants you to do is make the most out of your life, regardless of who you are, what condition you're in, what your circumstances are, as long as you do your best. And remember, in the mind, you can do many things. Visualizing. In the mind, you're free. Unless you're dualistic. Then you're closing your mind. So it doesn't matter what you were in a past life. That's done. That doesn't play a role in this lifetime. And how your desires, whatever your desires are, that is going to manifest in a dream. But that does not mean that you're supposed to be that. It's just your desire, your obsession that's manifesting as a dream. But that does not make it healthy. It's like a drug addict that is trying to fight his addiction. And the addiction can appear as a person in a dream. And if we take this obsession too far, then we might start seeing things or hearing things. Now we've snapped our brains. Now we're going to go Looney Tunes. It's nice to learn about other cultures, because cultures are beautiful. If you're communicating from your sacred center, you can appreciate other cultures, learn from them, but you know that that's not the main thing. The main thing is, how do you live your life? So it doesn't matter what your lineage is. That's just serving your earth experience. But what your soul has to do with is, how do you live your life? That's the most important thing. Sometimes people have a deep interest in Lakota things, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But then they take it too far by saying, yeah, I just feel like I was born in the wrong body, and I have the wrong skin color, and I had this dream, and in the dream I was dancing the ceremony, and there were some feathers on my forehead, and when I woke up, I just knew that I was an Indian in the past life, and that my Indian name is 13 Feathers. 13 Feathers. And so, let's say this person's from a different country even. So then after that, they book a trip to South Dakota, and they go visit a reservation, and they want to do this ceremony. They feel that if they do this certain ceremony, that makes their transition complete, and that they are now Lakota. Now, where did they get that information from? Who made that rule up? Because that law doesn't exist. That's fantasy talking there. They really, really, really have these strong fantasies, and they come up with these rules, and they think that just because they do this ceremony and that they were Lakota in the past life, and they feel that there's been a mistake, they were born on the wrong side of the planet, This is violating so many basic Lakota concepts that it's funny. There are no mistakes. Wherever you're born, there's no mistake. And it doesn't even matter. That's not important. If it was important, then what does that say about people who were born in really bad conditions? See, some cultures believe that when you're born in really bad consequences, they say that that's because you did something really bad in the previous lifetime, and this is karma. Well, Lakota Star knowledge is not like that. You heard what I said earlier, that whatever you did in the past life, that's done. If you were a rapist or a serial murderer, that means you didn't develop. You didn't even budge 1 inch. But that doesn't mean you're going to be punished in the next lifetime. How can you? You're a different person. And that has nothing to do with the soul in the long run. It's how you live your life. If you don't live a healthy life, you don't develop, period. But that doesn't mean your next lifetime you're going to be born in a body that has no arms and no legs and you're just a torso and a head. It doesn't mean that. That's a product of nature. Sometimes nature's this way. The physical body being born deformed, that's because of nature, or maybe the mother took some kind of medication that she shouldn't have. But that has nothing to do with the soul choosing to be born in the body like that. The soul does not see that because that is not important. The only thing that's important is that the soul comes into a body and just see what happens. How is that person going to live? Remember what I said, the brain creates the personality, and so how is that going to affect how that person lives? This is why our ancestors know this, that the brain is going to create a personality, so they jump on it right away. They start talking to it, getting familiar with it, having the child become familiar with them, so that the emotional development is healthy already. It's already developing in a healthy way. It's not even born yet. So that it's already getting the community perspective, even though it's not born yet. So when after it is born, and it starts learning things, and it starts to see the community perspective in action every day, and that's all it knows, and it leads a very healthy life. And the tendency really weakens for it to do stupid things. I mean, we still make mistakes, but to decrease the tendency of doing extremely unhealthy things, to prevent that, begins before the baby's even born. By what I just said here. Just think of everything that I said so far. The soul does not care what skin color the body has that it's coming into. It doesn't matter what language that body is going to speak when it's coming in. What matters is how is it going to live its life. If it's prepared by the community, by the family and relatives, by bonding with it before it's even born, that's giving it a really solid, healthy emotional foundation so that when it's born, it's going to have the tendency to live healthy. Because that tendency was put in there by the relatives talking to it, bonding with it before it was even born. That's how we influence it. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what language you speak. There's no such thing as a chosen race. There's no culture more important than another one. What is important is how do you live your life? How do you live your life? To read more about Lakota Star Knowledge Spirituality, you can read my book called Wichocha Otechike. You can see the book cover on the right side of this screen. This book contains the information to what I talk about on my Lakota spirituality videos. To purchase this book, please click below where it says Show More. Clicking on that link will open up the description below, and there you will see a link called To Purchase My Books. As you will see, it's an eBay link. Click on that eBay link, and there you will see the information to get this book. To learn more about speaking the Lakota language, you can read my book called Chante Etanha Ooglake, Speaking from the Heart. You can see the book cover on the right side of this screen. This book contains the information to what I talk about on my Lakota language mini lesson videos. To purchase this book, please click below where it says Show More. Clicking that link will open up the description below, and there you will see a link called To Purchase My Books. As you will see, it's an eBay link. Click on that eBay link, and there you will see the information to get this book. Lila Pilamayelo. Thank you very much.